That first year, I went to kind of like to hang out with others, old school hackers in Vietnam. They own black hat hackers. They heard about, I got problem, I got trouble in New Zealand by using stolen credit card. I say yes, that's why I don't want to touch computer anymore. I got so scared. I almost got caught. And they told me, why you don't think about US identity or personal information? It should be safer. It should be easily to sell that.
So these hackers were telling him, yeah, of course you got in trouble for stealing stolen credit cards. Man, don't mess with money. The police are going to get mad if you do that. That was your mistake. They take credit card theft very seriously. Heck, I bet the U.S. Secret Service probably has a case opened on you. What you should have done is gone into the business of stealing the identities of U.S. citizens and sell that. Not only can you make money doing that, but the Secret Service doesn't give a crap about stolen identities. In fact, nobody does. They'll never come after you for stealing identities, especially if you stay here in Vietnam. They can't touch you. So you should try stealing U.S. identities. So Hugh starts looking into it. My goodness, he thinks, they're right. Stealing identities and selling that is far less of a crime than stealing credit cards and just as valuable on the dark web. He wasn't sure why it was valuable, but if he could get all the personal details of someone, like their address, social security number, phone number, work history, the type of car they have, then people will buy that up like crazy on the dark web. So he starts looking around for places that might have all this information on U.S. citizens.
I didn't think kind of in the long term. I just see whatever I see in front of me. And the money, it just kind of blind my eyes. And I thought that should be safer. And I'm in Vietnam. And this is U.S. identity should be fine.
I mean, the logic checks out, right? Stealing identities of people in a far, far away country, no chance of them catching him in Vietnam, right?
And eventually I spent like almost a month. I recon and also doing a lot of OSINT to get me a list of all the data broker in the US to be able to provide this data.
Data brokers, of course. They would absolutely have a ton of people's identities. Okay, so if you don't know, a data broker is a company that spends an enormous amount of effort gathering up as much information as they can about you. Here's how they do it. Number one, they'll copy the whole phone book into their database. That's got everyone's name and phone number. Then they'll take a copy of all the county records. This includes who owns which property, court records, marital status. Then they'll look at your social media account and scoop up any photos that you have taken of yourself and posted, email addresses you list, affiliations, like which school you went to or place you work. Like LinkedIn is being scraped by data brokers all day, which you personally have told what your skills are, who your coworkers are, where you work, and what you look like. Now, to me, that's already spooky enough that someone would go through all this trouble to get all this data on me by doing all that. But some data brokers go far deeper and are way more sinister at getting data on us. They have been known to install trackers on your phone, which typically just comes along for the ride on popular apps. Like a data broker may pay an app developer to put a tracking pixel on the app so that they can track people even more. This means data broker is often collecting cell phone data, which could include your phone number, the app usage, but more interestingly, up-to-the-minute location information. Some data brokers go even further and set up antennas around town and watch what phones interact with those antennas, and they can track your phone's location that way. Some have been known to put little sensors on roads to identify which cars have passed down that road and take pictures of license plates going by too. Of course, purchasing history is important to them. I've heard stories of data brokers buying your purchase history data from retail stores. And if you don't know, a lot of retail stores are very closely tracking all the purchases you make with your credit card and have a complete history of everything you've ever bought with that card in their store. Sometimes they even track where you are in the store and what you stop to look at to see what interests you. And yes, absolutely, data brokers are buying up all this data that the stores are collecting on you because this consumer behavior is worth gold to these data brokers. So why do these data brokers do this? Why do they go to such great lengths to build databases on us? Because there's a lot of people who are willing to buy this data. Your data is very valuable. And I'm not talking about selling it on the dark web. We'll get to that. Data brokers often sell their data to law enforcement. And this has been a growing problem over time. I feel like law enforcement has found a loophole to ignore the Fourth Amendment. As a refresher, the Fourth Amendment says you have a right to privacy from the government. The government should not be able to see into your life without a warrant or probable cause. But they are, through data brokers. There's something called a third-party doctrine now, which says if you give your data to a third party, you no longer have a reasonable expectation of privacy from that data. So that means if you have money in the bank can share your data with the government without a warrant. And law enforcement can purchase your location data from a data broker without a warrant because it's commercially available data. Data brokers are trying to ruin the Fourth Amendment. And I want you to look a little closer at where this data is coming from. Yes, a lot of it is publicly sourced, but a lot is not. A lot is data that you think is just private between you and the party you trusted your data with, but they're selling that data to others. And so if you think it's safe and secure, but it's secretly being scraped and sold, I would say that's spying on you, which the government isn't allowed to spy on its own citizens. I mean, mass surveillance is against the law flat out, but they can get away with it because data brokers are the ones doing the spying and the mass surveillance, not the government, and then they're selling it to the government. Now, I've tried to remove my digital footprint as much as possible, but there are still things that I'm forced to do, which hurts my privacy, and I hate it. Like, for instance, anytime I see a doctor, I can't do it under a fake name. They have a strict policy where I have to prove my identity in order to get medical treatment. And then my medical records are being passed around to millions of people. HIPAA isn't there to protect our privacy. It's there to assist others to get our data. The portability part of it means they're making it easy to package up our data and send it to whoever asks for it. And there are millions of people and entities that can access HIPAA and patient data. Second is banks. There are laws in place where the banks have to verify who you are before they do business with you. Know your customer type stuff. And the banks are forced to report certain activity to the government. So millions of customers' banking data is going to the government again without a warrant. Lastly, I hate all this public record stuff. If I buy a house, get married, go to court, start a business, get arrested, all that is public record. And it gets abused all day, every day, because it is. I have no choice when it comes to these matters. My banking history, medical information, marital status, there's no way to opt out of any of it. And data brokers are just licking their lips, sucking it up as fast as they can. And they're profiting off of it. And they're using it to strip away my rights. But don't think it stops there. Data brokers are just companies trying to make money. So they have no problem selling your data to Walmart, Facebook, Google, insurance companies, credit card agencies, ad agencies, because all these businesses would love to know more about who you are so that they can target you with ads or to calculate the risk of doing business with you. And these data brokers absolutely do not want you to know they exist. They do a great job at hiding their presence in the world. Let me give you an example. I'm going to list 8 of them for you. And I bet you've never heard of any of these companies, yet there's a high chance that all of them know exactly what you're doing right now. Merkle, Locate Plus, LiveRamp, MicroBuilt, Ventel, SafeGraph, Xmode Social, Court Ventures. I certainly don't know anything about these companies, but Hugh was learning a lot about them.
And I find out, right? There are